Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Sunday, July 20th, Major League Baseball show, and we are presented to you and sponsored by Outlier.com for all your research, whether it be MLB, NBA, NFL, college football, college basketball, WNBA. You want to get ahead of the game in research and sports betting, Outlier.com. We will have a link to you in the comments section as well on the show. Hopefully you guys got a chance to watch Friday's games. Dodgers lose again. That's kind of story number one, I guess. Cubs win again. The Red Sox getting beat up after winning, 10 straight, now lose a couple in a row. Royals and the Marlins, after that performance by the Royals offense on Saturday, can they please start trading away pieces to get some semblance of offense for years to come? That's awful. Jonathan India, once again, does not need to be at the leadoff spot. They have nobody in the bottom of that lineup. The Royals aren't my favorite team, right? But they are up there. I'm from Kansas City, lived there a long time. I love Royals fans, but this is after last season where they make the playoffs. They figured out how to get some sort of offense with MJ Melendez and Nelson Vasquez, and they didn't even have some of these other guys. Caglione, Caglione has been a disappointment so far. Garcia's had his best year for him. Vinny Pasquantino continues to not be a run producer in the middle of that lineup. Salvador Perez is worse than normal, even though Salvador did have a home run on Saturday. But, this offense – it's just, seriously, we really can't, the Royals can't do anything offensively. They have nobody to bring up. Nobody. They can't even trade for a half-ass offensive player with one of their pitchers. Just to, make Royals fans feel like they can score more than 2 runs a game. Anyway, Dodgers, once again, I don't know what they're doing either. They did get to Peralta. I will give them that. In that game there. So congratulations to the Dodgers for scoring some runs. And the Orioles bullpen once again just imploded. They had the lead from majority of the game. Rays took over. As we're recording this, A's and Stros are actually Astros and Mariners and extras. I'm surprised they got to McCullers, but did. Blue Jays easy win. Here's another team that should be upset over this weekend so far, and that's the New York Mets. Oh my bejesus. What are they doing here against the Reds? The Reds normally not that great of a road team. Not only that, it's not like the Reds put up 10 runs here, only a 5 spot. The Mets offense has done absolutely nothing so far. Phillies finally get a win. Trout did have Trout with a double. We kind of mentioned Trout on the show. Phillies finally get a win. The offense finally wakes up. And I apologize for the previous day before. I meant to say White Sox when I was talking Pirates. About the day before's game. Oh my God. You never hear so many. I love the fact that everybody watches the show. My question is why is there always a critique before a thank you? So on Saturday, the White Sox won 10-4 after they won on Friday as well. And they won 10-1. Okay. So my apologies for all of you out there on that one. Padres choked it off. Couldn't figure out how to get to Mitchell Parker at all, which if you couldn't get to Parker, you're in trouble. Rangers with the win. We went over that. A's and the Guardians game went over. D-backs got to Sonny Gray. I don't know what the hell happened there. Yanks and Braves went way over, which we told you it was going to. Twins and Rockies went way over. Not only that, we told you Rocks again, plus the 1.5. I didn't even need the 1.5. Money line was good enough. Anyway, welcome to Sunday Baseball is what we got coming up today. If you're new to our show, first of all, welcome. Secondly, we do fade or follow 4 teams in Major League Baseball: Cubs, Dodgers, Royals, and the Orioles. That's where we play all of our bets. But I will give you bets and plays throughout the entire lineup as well. But just for reminder purposes, you can see that on our Google Sheets. We play where our bread is buttered, so to speak. And sometimes it's buttered a little bit less than it needs to be. But Brewers with the big win, that we got that one for you again. I still can't believe the Dodgers scored 0 runs on Friday. I'm still in shock of that with the offense. And they scored had a big run game, but just never could get a lead against the Brouhahas. And the Brouhahas are hotter than hell at the moment. And, this could be a race, honestly, between the Brewers and the Cubs that goes down the last weekend. And Brewers do have better pitching. So something to be worried about there, Cubs fans wise, as we come down the National League Central race. All right, so let's get started with the Sunday, the 20th show. And we start off Sunday again. Last week we did not have that early-ass game, which, basically drags all the bettors and their grandmother in, right? Because everybody wants to be on the early game. Let's get the day started. Maybe we make money on the early game and go on to the next game. Not always the case, but I will say in this particular game, I do have some interest here. Normally it's one of those ones I don't really have a lot and might only give you a play. I do have some interest in this game. Giants and the Red Sox, 12:05 Eastern time. Total in this game's at 8, and this is where I'm going to tell you here. So you got Berrios and Robbie Ray. Berrios I'm not big on. He hasn't been fantastic. Robbie Ray's been okay as of late as well. He's pitched well for the season, but I don't really like Berrios much. But the good news is he's going against the Giants offense, which is lackluster to say the boot. And realistically, this is a toss-up game more times than not here on the money line. Total at 8, though, is I think where we want to concentrate. Under 4.5 to front 5, under 8. This time slot never produces any runs. The most runs I've seen in this thing in the last few months was a 7 spot put up the Cardinals by themselves, and they won 7-0. Otherwise, we have not seen any runs in this early time frame. So why bet against it? Why play? Why try to figure out something hard? Play an under here. Under 4.5 front 5 would be a little bit juicier, but you play 4 if you want to get a little greedier. Under 8 for the game. George Springer does have excellent success against Robbie Ray lifetime. Guerrero and Bichette, I think I got a few at-bats apiece, but to be really honest, Springer's the one that's had more success lifetime, but I don't know if I really want to play too many hitters in this one. Pitcher-wise, I'm okay if you want to play Berrios or Robbie Ray here for outs. I think might not be a bad spot here. Strikeouts, Robbie Ray's at 6? I could live with 6 there. Berrios at 5. I don't know, 4.5. I don't know if I'm interested in playing him too much there. Outs recorded for Berrios at 17.5. The same for Robbie Ray. I'll be really honest with you. I think you could play both of them for 18 plus outs and be okay in this spot. But definitely the under, I think, is the way to play this one because this time slot does not produce much. That's like 9 o'clock Central. For the Giants, it's like playing at 9 in the morning, which means, if you're playing at 9 in the morning, it means you got to the stadium at like 5 in the morning, right? Not normal times for these guys. It just throws the clock off a little bit. They always seem, if they catch anything, it seems to be later in the game. So if I had the heaviest play would be under 4.5 front 5, but I think a lot of different options there for you in that one. Next game up, Trevor Rogers and the Orioles and Tampa Bay, Ryan Peepo. This game, for some reason, we're going to play this one stupid early as well. This game at 12:10 Eastern time. Trevor Rogers, by the way, has been absolutely on fire since coming off the disabled list. He has been awesome for the O's. Now, the question is, can they do anything offensively? And unfortunately, Trevor Rogers is not going to pitch 9 innings because that bullpen is still god-awful. They sold off Baker for a draft pick to actually the Rays earlier on here in July to take away probably their best bullpen piece. So here we got the Rays favored, about $1.20, $1.30 favorite in that range. I'm not quite sure why, but the area of focus for us is basically going to be the under in this game as well. We do have a lot of plays in this, being that it is an Orioles game, so let's give them to you here. Rays and Orioles, and this line has moved as well. So Orioles-Rays under 9 is kind of where we got it at. Under 2.5 the first 3 innings, 4.5 the first 5, 6.5 the first 7 as well. And then Orioles money line is plus money there. We do like the Orioles here. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. This could be 3-2, 4-3, maybe on the outside, but I think a low-scoring game here as well. So Orioles plus 1.5 as well in this one. Trevor Rogers, 5+ strikeouts, under 2.5 earned runs, over 15.5 outs. And Tampa Bay Rays under the 4.5 team total. And then Westberg, Magnum, and Walls in this game, all for 1 strikeout plus a piece in the Orioles and the Rays game. Next game up. My apologies here, we're drinking a lot of water too. We finally get to the 1:35 Eastern time frame games, your normal starting games for Sunday, right? Angels and the Phillies. So this thing's been pretty high scoring so far in this series here. Ranger Suarez, Jose Soriano, who pitches really well on the road. Soriano's numbers on the road have been solid, to say the least, right? I mean, his ERA overall being under 4, I think is quite an accomplishment. And maybe the Angels have something here long-term for a starting pitcher. Wouldn't that be a change? But his ERA is 3+ runs lower on the road than it is at home. No question. I mean, that is absolutely spectacular type stuff. Like I said, he pitched better on the road by far. Ranger Suarez has pitched well pretty much the entire season. Let's give him credit where credit's due on that one. Phillies, about $1.80 favorite here. I think that's a shade high. I think Angels plus a half a run first 5 innings. Angels plus 1.5. Also would not be shocked in this game. Also an under 4.5 the first 5, under 8.5 as well. I think we got lots of solid plays there. Like I said, Soriano's been good. If he continues that and Ranger continues to pitch, this game should cruise under 8.5. But definitely under 4.5 front 5, as both offenses, can get a little stay, especially the Phillies offense can either explode or implode, depending on which one they're looking at. Next game up, 1:35 Eastern time as well. Yankees and the Braves. So big comeback by the Yanks. Let's just say that. Everybody thought that they had Braves up, I don't remember the exact score, but they were up. And all of a sudden the Yanks come back. Big win, a lot of scoring, as we told you there was going to be in that game. The matchup yesterday with Will Warren and then the left-hander for the Braves, that thing was just the fact that it was under 20, I guess, is always good, right? So as that game was won 12-9 by the Yanks in that one. This one here, pitching matchup-wise, definitely favors the Braves. Grant Holmes has pitched pretty damn well this season. Marcus Stroman, this is the kind of guy that the Yankees have right now. That's basically their third starter behind Fried, who's absolutely gotten shelled as of late. You could throw Rodon in there, who hasn't been absolutely lovable. Will Warren and Stroman. I mean, that's why the Yankees are in a major spot for a starter. For sure, but before the trade deadline. Braves about $1.30 favorite here. I don't love the Braves by any stretch of the imagination. So if you're watching the show, and then Monday you tell me, hey, the Braves, they lost, you suck. Well, guess what? I'm not in love with it here, but I told you I'd give you a play every game here. So I like the Braves. Money line front 5, I think is where I'd attack it a little bit heavier and hope that the Braves can score early. But $1.30, you're getting them at a pretty cheap price here with Stroman on the other end. Trust me, I've watched plenty of years of Marcus Stroman pitch with the Mets and the Cubs and now with the Yanks and whatever. He's nothing to be overly impressed with. Anyway, we get to the next game up at 1:35 Eastern time frame. White Sox Pirates, game 3 of the set. Yes, the White Sox have won the first 2 games. Thank you very much for all the people out there that let me know I made a mistake on the show. Promise it won't happen. Well, it will happen again. We make mistakes. We're human. But anyway, Savali versus Andrew Haney in this one. Total at 9. Pirates, once again, favored at $1.45. Savali's been okay since coming over from the Brewers. He threw a little bitch fit that he was going to get moved to the bullpen. So they're like, all right, sayonara, see ya. Here you go over to the White Sox. That's a great trade, right? Where everybody wants to go. The next best trade would be traded over to the Rockies this season. Don't really love much to do in this game at all. So, but I will give you a couple small plays, plus a half a run first 5 innings for the White Sox, plus 1.5 for the game. I don't know if we're going to see a bunch of scoring here, but the White Sox have put up, 20 runs in 2 days? Do we really expect them to put up another 10 spot? No, I don't expect the Pirates to score a heck of a whole lot. as their offense is. It's a shame to have guys like O'Neal, Cruz, and not much else. Brian Reynolds has been a disappointment. McCutchen is supposed to be a good player. Like, really? Isn't McCutchen – it feels like McCutchen's like 400 years old half the time. But White Sox plus a half from 5 plus 1.5 for the game. Next game up, also 1:35 Eastern time frame. Padres and the Nats. Mackenzie Gore, Nick Pivetta. So we have a really good pitching matchup, I believe. Now, McKenzie has not been as dominant as he was at the start of the season, for sure. Start of the year, he was striking guys out like mad crazy. Hasn't been that way as of late. So, a couple things in this game here. First of all, the Padres do not strike out a bunch. Now, they do ground out more than any other team in the league. Padres are somehow a slight favorite here, which I can kind of see. I guess Pavetta's pitched pretty well. Total's at 8 in this game, and I think that's really where we're going to concentrate. Under 4 first 5 innings. I'd play 4.5 to be really honest, but 4 is what the line's going to be. You know, when you look at first 5, you can play alternate line 4.5 and go under 8 for the game. Mackenzie Gore under 5.5 strikeouts, as the Padres do not strike out much at all. I just think it's going to be a tough scoring game here. The Nats plus a half from 5 as well. Nats plus 1.5 for the game, I think, are all excellent opportunities here. But we should have a low-scoring battle, 3-2, maybe 4-3 on the outside. But unless it's the bullpen of the Nationals giving up a lot of runs here, I don't expect to see a lot of runs in this game. So I'd be really honest, I would stay away from the full game as much as I would that front 5. But just FYI on that one. So now we get to the 140 game. Andrew Abbott in the Reds. In New York still, going for the sweep. Game 3 of this series. Reds won the first couple. The Mets have been absolute dog shit offensively. David Peterson and Andrew Abbott. So Abbott's been one of the best pitchers in the National League all season long. No question. He's been good. Now, he's normally a little bit better at home, but the way the Reds are hitting as well, they've hit pretty well in this series. And going against the left-hander, no concern for the Reds. I like the Reds here in this spot. Dog day Sunday continues, I guess. Plus 1.5, plus a half a run front 5. If you want to get a little more aggressive, money line first 5 innings, money line for the game. I like all those options there. Andrew Abbott under 2.5 earned runs as well. Next game up, 1:40 Eastern time frame. A's, Guardians, game 3 of this set. We've had nothing but overs so far. What do we expect here in game 3? Total in this one, 8.5. Jeffrey Springs against Gavin Williams in Cleveland. I'd be really honest with you again. I think this is game 3 over as well. A's offense finally showed up. Well, they showed up in game 1 as well. Let's be honest. They can't, but they were so far down. They had to make a big run. Expect Springs to give up some runs. I expect Gavin Williams to give up some runs. I think it totals at 8.5. I think you're getting it cheap because it says the Guardians in it. That way it's not at 9.5. I like that. Over 4.5 first 5, over 8.5 for the game. I think over 4.5 team total for the A's as well in this one, but like some scoring, like it often and early at that game at 1:40. Now, next game up at 1:40 Eastern time as well. We talked about him earlier in the show, the beloved stinking Royals. Chris Biebick versus Jansen Junk. First of all, I say this every time Junk's pitching, but I love that name. Who doesn't love that name, right? Junk? I mean, come on. Makes me want to change my last name as well. This game here, you know, we had a bigger scoring game in game 1. Marlins ended up taking in extras because of the Royals bullpen. Royals actually tied this game up 1 apiece, and then guess what happened again? The Royals bullpen, besides the hitting, the bullpen, like the only thing you can really say is that the starting pitching's been pretty pleasant for the Royals for like 90+% of the season. It's been the bullpen and the hitting. Now, this game here, Chris Biebick's pitched pretty well majority of the season. Junk's been solid. And the total in this one is down all of a sudden to 7.5. This thing has moved. It was at 8 when we went to 8.5, and we like the total and the under here. Let's give you all the plays here. Marlins Royals under 2.5 the first 3 innings, under 4.5 runs the first 5 innings, under 6.5 the first 7. Royals under 4.5 team total. Biebick 6 Ks. Biebick 7 Ks. Let's see what we got next. Junk, under 4.5 strikeouts. Junk, under 1.5 walks, because the Royals just refuse to walk. You can throw them 4 pitches straight out of the zone. That doesn't bother them at all. They'll swing at least 2 of them. And then also Junk and Bubic, both 18-plus outs. We're going to pay Caglione under 1.5 total bases. Bobby Witt, under 1.5 hits. Jesus Sanchez for the Marlins, it's a 1+ strikeout. Witt, under 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs. And my least favorite leadoff hitter in all of baseball, Jonathan India, under 1.5 total bases. And that one there. Next game up. We get to the 11:20 time frame, and we're at the Red Sox and the Cubs. Garrett Crochet on the mound. That would be a left-handed pitcher going against the Cubs. If you've watched the show at all in the last few months, I think you know where we're headed in this one without me saying a word. And we've got Cade Horton for the Cubs. Horton's pitched pretty decently at home. On the road, he's been like a youngster should be, all over the frickin' place. But at home hasn't been too bad. Total in this game is around 7. Cubs are a dog, which I'm not surprised with. Crochet on the mound and the way they've hit left-handers. They have only hit one left-hander in the last 3 months, and that was Max Fried, and that was right before the All-Star break. Otherwise, not much else to be said. Red Sox, money line, -1.5, 2.5, 3.5 on the run line. Cubs under 3.5 team total. This thing is moving to 2.5. I will make you a promise there. I don't know if I'd play it at 2.5, 3.5. I like it. It is a little juicier to play it there, but I like it. Red Sox -0.5 a run, first 3, first 5, first 7 innings. Mr. Duran and Mr. Anthony for the Red Sox, same 5 bets apiece. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases. I'm not going to play it under here as 7. Because the Red Sox might explode in this game, and hell, they might get 7 all by themselves. So I'm staying away from a total here. I'm just focusing on the fact that we don't think the Cubs are going to score a heck of a whole lot in this one. And honestly, if the Red Sox can put up 3 at some point in this game, I think they've got this game won, to be really honest. Next game up, Twins, Rockies, 12:10 Eastern time frame. Not 12:10 Eastern. How about 3:10 Eastern time frame game? 12:10 out here in Phoenix. My apologies on that one. Joe Ryan, Herman Marquez. Twins have not figured anything out. Here's a stat for you really quick. Twins are 0-7 on the run line as a favorite. Last 7 games are away favorite. Sorry. As an away favorite, they're 0-7 on the run line. Keep that in mind. The Rockies have looked good this series. Now, Joe Ryan is the best pitcher they're going to face in this entire series, and that's the reason why they're a +205 dog. I don't know if I would play him money line here. I've got a feeling the Twins are going to win, but I don't think the Twins are going to keep the Rockies. This game's not going to be 4-3, I don't think. 6-5, 5-4 maybe. Total's at 10.5. It has come down from 11. I understand people, Joe Ryan's pitching. How's this thing going to go way over? Well, it's possible here. The Rockies are hitting the ball, but we do like the Rockies +1.5. You're getting heavy juice here, so you can play them +2.5 as well. As the Twins, as a favorite, just do not seem to cover as much. When they're a dog, they seem to be more dangerous. But we do like the Rockies +1.5, first 5 innings. Rockies +1.5 for the game. Rockies +2.5 for the game. Maybe a slight lean to the under here. I wouldn't play it in this particular spot between the Rockies and the Twins. For game 1 went under, game 2 went way over. I mean, it's day games, a little bit different than night games. Like I said, it'd be more of a lean to the Rockies, not necessarily win the game, but keep it within one run, stay within a run first 5, stay within a run or 2 for the game. Next game up. 4:10 Eastern time frame, Diamondbacks, Merrill Kelly, Mikolas, and the Cardinals. So the Cardinals have looked like dog shit for the first 2 games of this series. And this is exactly what the Diamondbacks, to be really honest, for their future did not need to happen. For them to come out, mash the ball for 2 straight games. You know what I mean? This is not what they needed to happen. at all. They needed to lose these games. The Cardinals needed to win them too, so a little shocked at them. Mikolas, though, the handicap here says take the Diamondbacks, and they're only $1.40 plus favorite. That's pretty good money for Merrill Kelly at home and Mikolas, but the first two games said Cardinals. So as we're going to play opposites in this series, I don't know if we can. It's probably Diamondbacks money line first 5 innings. Maybe the Cardinals get some offense going late against this bullpen after Merrill Kelly's out of the game. I don't expect Kelly to shut them out, but to hold him to 2 or 3 runs over 6 innings, I think, that's normal Merrill Kelly type start, right? But this is the worst thing that could happen to the Diamondbacks. I told you guys before the Friday games, the Diamondbacks needed to lose a bunch of games here over the last couple weeks, so they make sure they're sellers, so they can reload for the future, because they're not going to make a run at the playoffs. There's way too many teams in front of them. Even though the game's back 9 might look that bad, there's way too many teams in front of them. So we like the Diamondbacks to finish the sweep off here. Money line first 5 innings. Money line, I guess, for the game. I don't know if I'd be interested in the game here, more just the front 5. And they should score a little bit there in the first 5 innings, I would assume. Total's at 9 in this one. I think this is probably pretty close to the total number of runs in this game. My look for the Cardinals over their team total, like I said, maybe they get it late, might be a better live play. If they don't score early, maybe they get some runs late against the Diamondbacks bullpen. Next game up, 4:10 Eastern time frame as well. Brouhaha is going for the sweep in L.A. Now, the Astros just swept the Dodgers in L.A. Now the Brewers going for a sweep. And to be really honest, I like the pitching matchup quite a bit here. Quintana for the Brewers against Kershaw. Kershaw hasn't been fabulous by any stretch. These guys just pitched against each other not too long ago when the Brewers took care of them in Milwaukee. Maybe just one of those teams that seems to have the number. Offense finally got going for the Dodgers yesterday, and they couldn't pitch. Do we expect Kershaw to be dominant? No. These Brewers figure it out. They're always in games, right? They don't seem to get blown out a ton. They don't blow anybody out a ton. That's why their run differential is not necessarily crazy or anything like that. But we expect the Brewers. I like the Brewers for the sweep here, to be really honest, for this Sunday. Another dog we think comes home in this one. But Brewers money line, plus 1.5, minus 1.5, 2.5 on the run line. Brewers over 3.5 team total. I will give you a little heads up on that one. That one is getting juicier and juicier at the 3.5. So if you want 3.5 instead of 4.5, get in play now. Brewers money line, first 3, 5, and 7 innings. Jackson Churio had a couple hits on Saturday, and Contreras, who had a double as well on Saturday. Both of those players, 5 bets apiece. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases. And 2 games to go. Hunter Brown and the Stros against the Mariners and Brian Wu. So Mariners as we're going through this, looks like they win 7-6 in extras. Tough one on the chin there for the Stros. As we've been saying, though, 1 run in these games is kind of, you get those divisional matchups. A lot of times those are 1-run games. So even if you don't hit the money line, if you got a team, if you like the dog, not necessarily a bad spot. Wu's been good at home. Hunter Brown's been not so good on the road. Not so good, period. A couple starts heading into the All-Star game. Mariners are a little bit of favorite here. Totals at 6.5. I'll be really honest with you here. This game at 4:10 Eastern time in this one, I kind of dig in the over. The way Hunter Brown's pitch going in, both bullpens a little taxed, going to extras. Total's only at 6.5 here. It's not going to take a lot of runs to get over 3.5 the first 5. I think it's kind of a way to attack this game. I think Hunter Brown, the way he's pitched all season, is getting a little love there. Not over the way he's pitched the last few starts, but I like both teams. I like both teams to get on the board here and to put up some. Could be a 2-2 game after 5. Easily goes over the 3.5, and then you get into that Mariners bullpen. You always got opportunities, and the Astros bullpen is going to be a little taxed as well. But I don't know if I love a side here unless you're playing plus 1.5 either way. It's going to be about even either way, playing plus 1.5. So over 3.5 first 5 innings, over 6.5 for the game in the Astros and Mariners. Then we finish up with Sunday Night Baseball. Tariq Skubal and the Tigers against Lats and the Rangers. So let's go over the Tigers' offense the last 2 games. Where the hell has it been? Non-existent. Non-existent. And it's not like, the Rangers are throwing out Cy Young Award winners. Kumar Rocker going, you think they would be able to score some runs there. The Tigers would. They lose 4-1. They don't score a run to the top of the 9th against the Rangers bullpen, which is, definitely bottom 10 in the league, but probably pushing bottom 5 of the league. On Friday, they score a whopping 0 runs. The Tigers do. What the hell is going on with the Tigers? We mentioned before the All-Star break, we mentioned it quite a while. They were probably maybe a stick or 2 away from really having a chance to go to the World Series. Not to say 2 games in July is going to be your difference of making the World Series or not, but these are 2 winnable games they could have won. The Rangers have only scored 2 spot on Friday and 4 on Saturday. So not a lot of positive stuff you can say here, I guess, going for the Tigers. The best thing they've got going on Sunday night is Tariq Skubal. Right? And Skubal going for back-to-back Cy Youngs. Lats, what are we supposed to see out of Lats in this game? I don't know if we see much of anything. But the way both offenses have been rolling, which they haven't been putting up a bunch of runs at all. And then you got Skubal going. Totals at 3.5 front 5, 7 for the game. I think maybe an under here. Definitely like the first 5 of this, unless the Tigers – the thing is the Tigers' offense could explode for 4+ runs themselves in the first 5 innings, right? So that's always something you got to keep in the back of your mind. So is it something, like I said, to put the house on? No. But I don't like the Tigers here at -220. That's for damn sure. I mean, to be really honest, +1.5 for the Rangers for the game, plus a half a run front 5. This thing could be 0-0 at the end of 5 innings, and plus a half comes in. Hey, if Lats pitch as well, we assume Skubal's going to, but under 3.5 the first 5. Rangers plus a half a run first 5 innings. Rangers plus 1.5 for the game. As most games, division rivalry games, even though this one's not a division rivalry game, but Skubal's the better pitcher here. But I can't play the way the Tigers offense has been hitting at $2.20, $2.20 favorite in this one either. All right, so we just went through the full slate of games. You like the content you're seeing here and want to see some more? All you have to do is hit subscribe, follow or subscribe depending on the social media platform you're watching us on. We'll show up in your follower subscriptions tab. Or make life simple for yourself. Turn on the notifications for that social media platform. You'll get a notification sent to your phone or device to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped a new episode of bets, which will give you plenty of time to match those up with your bets and give you the ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. Also, we mentioned earlier this episode brought to you by Outlier.com. If you want to check out Outlier, the app, one of the best research apps out there. So if you don't want to necessarily pay for Discord, but you like to do a lot of the research yourself, Outlier is a fantastic tool. It's not that expensive. You can get on there. They break everything down for you. It gives you some great stats, some great trends, great runs, and percentages of hit rate, of hit rate, of everything hitting that you got going on as well. Outlier is a place to do it. Also, private Discord channel is available for all of you out there. So if you don't want to do the research yourself and you want us to do it for you, even better. The Discord channel, you can also get in the comment section. You'll see a link to WHOP.com. That's the checkout for it. Once you get in there and pay, then we will get you all set hooked up over for the Discord channel. Discord already has all the British Open bets. They already have all the baseball bets. Before we put those out for public consumption as well. Bonus bets like golf. Formula One's back next week, so we'll have a bunch of Formula One plays. UFC was on there as well. As Holloway beats Poirier in a decision, which it was, crazy UFC night, wasn't it? But at least over 4.5 rounds came in. So Poirier couldn't win his final at home. Okay. Man, one of those type of things. Anyway, so like I said, not only does our Discord have well over a couple hundred members, there's a lot of chit chat back and forth. Everybody's into sports a bunch. You get all of our picks early. You get a bunch of bonus picks. You get a little bit of education to go along with it as well. So a lot of stuff by joining the Discord. Just go to the WAP link in the comment section. Once you do, we'll go ahead and get you hooked up over there as well. Also, we've got another college football, the ACC, coming out on Monday preview if you want to check that out. College football is right around the corner. Week 0 is, a month out? I think August 23rd, so we're right there. And NFL-wise, we're going to be putting out preseason NFL shows as well. So a lot of that going on. So if you're into football, you're into basketball, you're into baseball, Formula One, golf, make sure you follow the channel, first of all, here on YouTube. As for all of you that have come over from TikTok, unfortunately, there's been some issues over there where we have to be the most bland channel on God's green earth, but we get a chance to break it down here on TikTok, on YouTube for you. Apologize for all those that have followed for us years on TikTok, but it's not that big of a deal to switch platforms. It's not. All you have to do is subscribe here on YouTube. We'll show up in your subscriptions tab. Makes life really, really simple. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.